Alright, what's up, guys? Let me just pull up this Bleacher Report. I know it's getting right into it, Okay. So, welcome to the wrestling... Oh, whoa. Start again. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago. And today, we are going to be talking about what went down on Friday Night SmackDown after the Royal Rumble. And I have a broken granola bar. That's just fucking nice. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications, I would appreciate that. It's an apple cinnamon granola bar, but let me also pull up those notes that I've saved. Oh, where is it? There we go. Notepad, because we got to talk about the Elimination Chamber, because that also happened. So, no, put that, leave that right there. Or just a little bit under. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, we are fresh off of the Royal Rumble, while Roman Reigns has already declared his intention to challenge CM Punk at WrestleMania following his Rumble win. Liv Morgan hadn't announced her pick heading into Friday's show. The Rumble also saw the debuts of Royce Keys, baby. It's kind of a weird name, but he was formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs. That's right. In All Elite Wrestling. He didn't show up on Raw. All eyes were on SmackDown to see if the newcomer showed up. Moving forward, it is reported that Royce Keys will be, or was it Royce Keys or Obafemi? Was it Royce Keys or Obafemi? One of the two will be appearing on SmackDown more than the other. I think it was Obafemi, because we did get to see him here today. But Cody's holding grudges, baby. After a video recap of the Royal Rumble, and of course the usual shots of superstars arriving to the arena, Drew McIntyre made his way to kick off the show. But before Drew could actually get to the ring, Cody Raheem Rhodes attacked him from behind and began beating him up until security separated them. The American Nightmare got in the ring, grabbed a mic, and cut a scathing promo. On the man who eliminated him from the Royal Rumble, who wasn't even in the fucking Rumble. After vaguely claiming to have a large penis for some reason. Yeah, who wants to talk about a large penis, guys? Rhodes ended the promo and stared at the WrestleMania sign, knowing his path to the event was still unclear. This was an energetic way to kick off the show with a little action and a promo that didn't last any longer than necessary. This got the crowd red hot for the show, and this is the perfect way you want to open up a show. I'm all for it. Give it a B+. You know what I mean? We ain't about that talking. We're all about that action, baby. And to also mention that he didn't get the nickname Raheem for a reason. We got our women's tag team championship match to kick us off. We have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky taking on Kiana James and Julia. After Nick Aldis was shown asking Rhodes to leave the arena for his own good, we went back to the ring to have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defend the titles. Ripley and James had a brief exchange before Julia tagged in and demanded Sky come and face her one-on-one. The U.S. champ wanted... Oh, so she is still U.S. champ. Okay, I was thinking that it was Chelsea Green. I think she had the title on her. Okay, so we are very clear. The U.S. champ, Julia, is still the U.S. champ. Okay, so Julia won the exchange of strikes and mocked the genius of the Sky before the High Flyer made her pay for it. The women's tag team division, WWE, has a tendency to ebb and flow, but recent months have seen increased attention placed on the titles thanks to a few high-profile stars being heavily involved. Ripley and I don't like saying Riho because there's a wrestler named Riho, you guys know. So, Ripley and Sky has been a great babyface team, and Julia and James have developed into a solid duo, even if Julia is booked much stronger than James in singles matches. They gave the champions a good challenge this week. This bout had good energy from all four women, but the outcome was pretty predictable. After overcoming a close call, of course, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky got the win to retain the titles. B+. Wade Barrett also made fun of a dashing Cody Rhodes reference on commentary that a few flew under the radar for most people. Yeah, if I was able to watch the show, I would have been able to catch on to that. Guys, we have another amazing match here. Honestly, probably an A- at best. But here we go. As we thought we were going to see Ilya Dragunov challenge for the U.S. title, it ended up being The Miz following a backstage interaction. The A-lister went right after the champion once the bell had run. He looked more aggressive than he has in quite some time, but Melo didn't take too long to begin fighting back. The storyline between these two have gone on longer than it needed to, but adding Dragunov to the mix has helped keep it fresh. These three men have fought several times in every combination possible. It looks like a triple threat match would be inevitable, and of course I feel like it's coming at some point. Maybe a triple threat match in Chicago would be helpful, but you need to garden up The Miz as a threat, an actual threat. The Miz needs to feel like a threat because he's nothing right now. Yeah, he's been a former WWE champion, a former this. Like, Miz could ramble on for hours about his accomplishments. And right now, he's just putting over stars, like Carmelo Hayes. Melo has been fantastic in every outing he has had as a U.S. champion. And he once again helped The Miz put on one of his best performances in recent memory. Hayes got the win, and both men came out from this looking great. Well, maybe not The Miz because he's been taking so many fucking pins and losses. But again, I feel like Dragunov could help out with that too. Miz got to play dirty a little bit now. That's what we're really aimed up for. So yeah, I think a triple threat match could work. If you want to do it on the SmackDown before the Elimination Chamber, that also works. End this storyline real quick, or fucking save it for the pay-per-view. Build up The Miz more. It's perfect. Honestly, an A- for this, because a lot of the U.S. title matches needs that, same A, because all those defenses are great. And I saw the ending to it. The way that Carmelo got out of the fucking Skull Crushing finale and hit the first 48 was great. So, moving on. We got our first. Finally, we can bring this up, guys. We have our first, of course, triple threat match to determine who is going into the Elimination Chamber. For the women's, Lash Legend, Chelsea Green, and Tiffany Stratton. So after all three women came up short on the Royal Rumble, Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, and the Lash Legend stepped into the ring for a chance to compete in the Elimination Chamber. Tiffy and Legend sent Green out of the ring and took care of Alba Fire before they took the fight to each other. The former U.S. champion recovered and ended up hitting a huge dive from the top rope onto the floor. Before Legend wiped her out with a big boot to send us into a commercial break. All three women filled different roles in this match. Legend, of course, was the powerhouse heel. Tiffany was the typical babyface, and Green fell somewhere in between. And that's what you want for a triple threat match. You kind of want, we want to establish, for a triple threat match, we really want to establish who's the heel, who's the babyface, and who's that person who's going to, who's kind of mixed. That's where it feels great. The crowd loves Chelsea, but she is great at getting them to cheer for her opponents, too. This bout had some highlights and also had some few moments that didn't look good as desired. None of them ruined the match, though. In fact, the last couple of minutes were a lot of fun. But Tiffany Stratton hit the pretty smooth salt to advance to the Elimination Chamber. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we can do here. Hold on. Sometimes this does happen. Okay. We can add Tiffany Stratton to the Elimination Chamber. And of course, she defeated and we'll just save that for right there. So you guys can see right now, for her to advance, and I'll probably just, at this point, do all that. So Tiffany defeated Green and Legend to qualify for this match. And I'm going to make sure we keep that same route, like who they defeated to qualify, because it makes, we just need to make sure we're not in sync with the whole, this person, faced this person was in a match for an opportunity and then got a lot, I already can see them doing a fucking, a last chance type shit. But anyway, I digress. B-. Bo Dallas and the Wyatt Six had a video promo video package directed at Solo Sikoa. We also saw Stratton and Green have a backstage interaction before this match, so there's that. Anyway, the true man himself, the Mr. Toxic Feminist himself, Kit Wilson, baby. Yeah, I'm loving his theme song. I'm rocking out to it. I hope everybody is too. What do you guys think of Kit Wilson's theme song? Let me know in the comments down below. Wilson came to the ring and gave another promo about toxic masculinity. He focused on the Royal Rumble and got the crowd to chant toxic every time he said it. He put out an open challenge to anyone who was in the Rumble with him, which was answered by Obafemi. Yup. The ruler proceeded to decimate Wilson with a couple of moves to get the easiest win of his career. This match was so fast that there was no way to even rate it properly. It was basically over in 2 fucking moves. So, Damian Priest was also watching Femi's match with R-Truth backstage, so they obviously had a funny exchange, huh? Anyway, yeah, so Femi might be on SmackDown now for good, you know? I think he's made a decision, or Royce Keys, we don't know. But yeah, Obafemi fucking, Obafemi just decimated, so yeah, no grade for this one. Moving forward, the champion has many enemies. See, after failing to begin his promo at the top of the show, McIntyre came out to the ring to give it another shot. Before he could speak, Jacob Fatu attacked him from behind. He took the Scottish psychopath down with a huge suicide dive before taking a bunch of security guards who tried to break up the fight. This was much quicker than the fight between Rhodes and McIntyre earlier, and it didn't lead to Fatu giving a promo, but it was entertaining nonetheless. The champion should be a target for everyone on the roster, and WWE has done a good job establishing McIntyre as the man with many enemies. And that's great. I love that WWE is doing that. You know, he can't get a promo because he got Rhodes on his back. Now he's got Jacob Fatu on his back. Now can we get somebody else on his ass? Like, can we get somebody else? Like, Drew McIntyre needs somebody else on his ass, right? To like, damn, I got so many targets on my back. I'm champion. You know what? But I got all these haters. You know what? All they're going to do is hate. All they're going to do is hate. B-. Tama Tonga took on Shinsuke Nakamura, and honestly, do we even have to fucking rate this? This was just a put-together match, honestly. So, the fact, maybe the grade is for how they did. Let's find out. 2 men who have had history dating back several years to their time in New Japan Pro Wrestling stepped into the ring for a fight this week when Nakamura faced Tama Tonga. These two have had a handful of interactions recently to build up to the showdown. I'm actually going to check this out, too. I'm also going to be able to check this out on YouTube in a bit. Tonga had been in WWE for almost 2 years, but this match might have been the first time he has looked like a threat as a solo act. He has almost exclusively served as a henchman for Solo Sikoa, so it was great to see him get a chance to have his own program. He controlled Nakamura for most of the first half and through the commercial break. The King of Strong Styles made a comeback though when we returned, but he still had to worry about Tonga's allies at ringside. Unfortunately, Jason Mateo and Tonga Loa got involved and helped Tonga get a dirty win over Nakamura, which is easily his biggest singles victory to date. But because of the interference, it gets a knock. So, I'm going to give this a B-. A B, 100% for the action itself, but the minus comes in when you have something like this, like, you know, getting involved and getting a dirty win. I don't like that. I wanted a clean finish. And then a post-match beatdown, so then we get the Wyatt Six involved. This would have probably been a B+ at best. Maybe an overbooked ruled maybe would have been, you know, Bleacher Report probably would have overbooked ruled this fucking grade as like a B- because of the overbooking, but I think it's necessary completely for what, you know, for what they're doing. Anyway, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez took on Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace. So, oh boy, the women's division on SmackDown fucking sucks. Aldis welcomed Liv Morgan to the ring to talk about the Royal Rumble her winning. Raquel was by her side, but the rest of the Judgment Day was absent because all of them stay on Raw. All of them belong on Raw. We have a fucking draft for a reason. She talked about having to pick between Jade Cargill and Stephanie Fakir for her WrestleMania title shot, but she said that Mania is not the only thing on her mind. Rodriguez took the mic from her and said she wanted to address the elephant in the room, but Cargill's music hit before she could say more. Ooh. She warned Morgan against choosing her before getting into Raquel's face. Jody and Grace joined the party, and Aldis booked a tag team match that started right away. Morgan and Rodriguez were both planted with spine busters by the powerhouses, who immediately began arguing about who would be the legal competitor as the show went to break. The segment that led into the match was pretty standard stuff, but Morgan's energy helped make it more entertaining. The fight that followed saw a miscommunication led to Morgan getting taken out by Raquel with a big boo. Jody and Grace ended up getting the win for her team by pushing Raquel into Jade, then rolling her up with a standard fucking, roll-up. While this wasn't a bad match, it didn't exactly leave a lasting impression either. So, yeah, you can say that Liv Morgan's probably going to be choosing Stephanie Vakir, which again, I have right here stated as so. Fucking, where is it? Right here, Stephanie Vakir choosing Liv Morgan choosing Stephanie Vakir for the Women's World Championship. I digress, though. C+. Johnny Gargano was shown looking very depressed. Candice LeRae couldn't snap him out of it for Axiom. And the Most Machine Guns had no interest in helping. So Johnny Gargano could be headed back to NXT, ladies and gentlemen. But then we got our main event. Of course, it was Randy Orton versus Aleister Black versus Solo Sikoa for the chance to go to Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre finally got his promo and talked about feeling insulted by Roman Reigns and CM Punk, implying the world champion meant more than the WWE championship. He had a quick interaction with Trick Williams before leaving. Finally, somebody who can actually give him something. After the break, though, we got our main event. Brought to you by Call of Duty Mobile. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what was in the middle of the ring. We got the main event with Randy Orton, Black, and Sikoa competing for one of the spots in the Elimination Chamber. These are three very different kinds of performers, but all three are talented enough to work with just about anyone. So, it took them no time at all to find their groove. The match followed the typical layout of a triple threat match. We got to see every combination of opponents fight one-on-one, with moments of all three men fighting at once sprinkled in. There were no allies, so it never felt like anyone was at a disadvantage, which made the outcome harder to predict because all three men would be suitable competitors in the chamber. This was not the best match of the night. It was definitely a worthy main event. They did a good job keeping everyone on their toes until the end. The Viper scored the win with an RKO to Solo to earn his spot in his 10th Elimination Chamber match. So, ladies and gentlemen, our first entry into this match is none other than the Viper, Randy fucking Orton. Why did I say Orphan? It looked like Orphan Rise, right? All right, so Randy Orton, I'll probably do the same thing for the men's too. Next week, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, and Sami Zayn will compete for the next spot in the Elimination Chamber. My money goes on Jacob Fatu. What the fuck? I'm sorry, I got like a crate underneath me, guys. I think that Jacob Fatu will earn this spot. Yeah, I think Jacob Fatu will earn this spot. I don't know why, but like, I could just see it happening. Cody Rhodes being more flustered and frustrated at him not having a path to WrestleMania, right? I think Jacob Fatu will enter this match too. I think Cody will get in somehow. Like a last chance or something. But anyway, as you can see on your screen, Randy Orton and Tiffany Stratton are the first to enter the Elimination Chamber. So, what was the overall grade? Well, Friday Night SmackDown did a good job following up the Royal Rumble because it did a good job balancing a recap from the PLA and setting up for the Elimination Chamber, which I love that they did. However, the real attraction this week was how action-heavy this episode felt. Not only did it not feature an overly long promo segments, but we got 7 matches, which is more than WWE PLEs these days. The women's division was highlighted across the 3 matches with a total of 11 talents competing, and several more being involved in non-wrestling roles. While Hayes and The Miz did a best match, honestly, a second close would be, of course, the women's tag team title match that opened the show. This was a strong episode that did a good job laying down the groundwork for the Chamber and next week's SmackDown. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. I got one more week off until I have to go back to work, but I'm glad doing it, spending it here with you guys, telling you what went down on SmackDown, what went down on Monday Night Raw. I will continue to follow up with the Elimination Chamber. I will be back here Monday at probably early again because I have no work. I will be back here early on Tuesday to give you the Monday Night Raw review. And, of course, I will be back next Saturday to give you the SmackDown Summary. All right? And don't forget to catch out the Elimination Chamber only on ESPN. On the 28th of February, I think it's the 20th, 28th of February, I will be setting up the streams for that. Or, well, the predictions and the review for that. But, until then, I will see you guys next week.